talking about the power of prayer and a book that I think that every Christian should read. So the book is Praying for Strangers by River Jordan, and this book is just amazing. It's one of the best books I've ever read, even though I just read it. And so basically just a quick summary of the book. It's a true story, and it's about this lady who's going through a pretty tough time herself, but she decides to find a stranger each and every day and put them first and just think about them throughout the day and pray for blessings and happiness and just all the other things that everyone deserves in their life. And in the beginning, she didn't really feel like totally completely comfortable telling the person that she was praying for, but as she advanced in her relationship with Christ and just saw like all the miracles that he was working, she decided that she was going to start telling the person, like just jump out of her comfort zone and just walk up to them and spend maybe 2 to 3 minutes here or there just telling them, exactly what she's doing. And it was just crazy because each and every person that she told, they had something going on in their life that they really needed a prayer right then. And so it was just amazing to see that even through this small resolution, God found a way to place people in front of her that specifically needed that love and that help. And she actually saw some of them later on in life, and she saw a lot of the things that she prayed for actually turn out in their life. And so it's just a great novel because I think that sometimes people start to pray just to pray, but they don't realize how powerful and how meaningful each prayer can be if they make it that way. So, sometimes we pray and we're like, why isn't God doing this? Like, why isn't anything happening? I'm praying, but literally nothing's happening. And so I just think that this book is just so empowering, especially if you're doubting the power of prayer, if you're doubting if God is really listening, if He's really hearing you, then I think that this would just be such an amazing book to read because it really just shows every single miracle that God works every single day for so many people. And so the crazy thing about this book is I actually found it on New Year's Day. I was just like randomly shopping and I randomly went into a bookstore and I found it on New Year's Day. I did not have a New Year's resolution, and here I am just finding this book about Christ and about New Year's resolutions. And so I decided to challenge myself to also take up this New Year's resolution. And so obviously the New Year's resolution is to find a stranger and just think about them and pray for them throughout the day. And if you're thinking about them throughout the week, the next time you can continue to pray for them. And I've only been doing it for about 2 weeks now, and so I'm not at the point where I'm completely comfortable telling the person that I'm doing it for, but I really want to get to that point because I think that that's really important and everyone needs to know that they're valuable, and just to find something specific to pray for them would be awesome. But the point that I'm trying to get to is I can already like feel my relationship with Christ going and see how this is affecting me. And so I just think that this New Year's resolution is just so awesome because you're helping someone else out through Christ. You're becoming better at praying, and in the process, you're also becoming a better person because you're realizing like everything that Christ can do, and you're just on fire for Jesus. And so I just think that a lot of people misinterpret what praying is. Like it just kind of becomes a habit for them. Like, oh, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to pray, and I'm going to pray before a meal, and I'm going to pray before I go to bed. But I don't think that a lot of people actually put a lot of importance into it. So I think it's important to make it a habit, but don't make it a task, because praying is not homework. It's not a job. It's life changing. It's a blessing to be able to do it, and you can be blessed if you do it the right way. And so I just kind of want to start off by saying that I'm nowhere near mastering praying, but I've come a long way from the beginning, and I just hope to continue to get better. I think in the beginning I just kind of asked for what I needed, which is fine. You should go to God and ask Him for guidance and tell Him, what you're going through, even though He already knows. But it's also important to thank Him for the things that He has done, and it's important to think about your neighbor who's in need, who might need something. So instead of just saying, I need to do good on this test tomorrow, like pray for the strength to do good on the test tomorrow, and be grateful that you have the opportunity, and be grateful that you have another day, and be grateful that you have him as a father and as a leader in your life. But to kind of close this up, I just want you to challenge yourself to find meaning in prayer and not make it a task, but make it a habit to talk to God and communicate with Him and just tell Him what you're going through. You don't have to be perfect. He doesn't expect you to be perfect. He just wants to hear from you, and He wants to know that He's loved by you and that He's important to you and that you're going to turn to Him in times of test, because God is the only thing that will not fail you. You can lean on someone, you can lean on something for a little bit, and it might work out for that time, but in the end, every single thing is going to fail you at some point besides God. And so you really just need to put Him first and lean on Him the most in times of trouble and in times of tests and everything else. And so I just challenge you to find meaning in God and find meaning in praying to Him and finding your identity through Him. And lastly, if you're really feeling up to it, I challenge you to do this New Year's resolution. If you're a high school student, college student, I know it might be harder because you're going to be turning to classmates and telling professors or teachers or whoever that you're thinking about them, and that might seem awkward or weird, but you never know what someone's going through. So I just challenge you to pray and mean it and to find purpose in prayer. And I hope that you have a blessed day.